Welcome back, everybody, to Crows of Judgment. And while I was away for my anniversary this weekend, the story of Alec Baldwin's unfortunate pew of another human being. I'm trying to just make everything YouTube friendly, so apologies. What I saw were people like defending Alec Baldwin or like arguing that Alec Baldwin held no sort of responsibility in what had occurred, right? And 100% that's not true at all. Alec Baldwin is completely responsible for everything that went down on that set that led to that girl being shot and unfortunately losing her life. Now, I do not think Alec Baldwin, intended to cause harm to anyone. But in the United States, there's this thing, right? And it's when you are negligent and it results in the homicide, the murder of another human being, that's this like criminal statute, something like negligent homicide that literally exists, right? And for those of you who are unaware, Alec Baldwin is shooting a movie called Rust. It's some sort of old Western film. I don't know too much about it, but essentially on the set of the film, there's been some production issues. There's been a lot of safety concerns, which we'll get into a little bit later. And at one point, the crew had walked off set. Afterwards, Alec Baldwin went on to kind of rehearse a scene, and during it was given an actual gun. They're calling it a prop gun, but for those of you who are unaware, a prop gun just means it's a legitimate actual gun that they're just using for the movie, right? So it's not really a prop. It's like a literal, actual firearm. But it's not, whatever. And when he gets the gun, doesn't check it, doesn't do anything, he aims it at another human being and pulls the trigger, which results in that person being shot to death. And the reason why is because Alec Baldwin thought the gun only had blanks in it, and of course he had not checked. Now, I would look at that and say, it's really unfortunate. If that's all it was, right? If that's all that had happened, it sounds like the entire production needs to be completely shut down because, basic firearm safety is not being practiced on set, right? But here's the problem, and it was actually pointed out in an LA Times article just a few days ago. The shooting came after crew members raised concerns about safety conditions on set. Two Rust crew members told the LA Times that less than a week earlier, a stunt double had fired two accidental prop gun discharges after being told the gun was cold. Okay, so this less than a week before Alec Baldwin fatally shoots someone with a gun he is told is cold, meaning it only has blanks in it. A stunt double was given another firearm, told it was cold, and discharged two actual bullets, right? So when we talk about negligence, right? Alec Baldwin is not just the star actor of the film. It's Alec Baldwin's project. He's the producer. He's hiring the people on the fucking crew, right? So Alec Baldwin, on top of being the man, right, who's so grossly incompetent that less than a week ago, when another stunt double was given a gun and told it was cold and fired two live rounds, then goes on to get another gun, gets told it's cold, doesn't check it, doesn't do anything, and points it at another person and fires it. And I look at this and I go, this is such a, I mean, to me anyways, I don't pretend to be a legal expert, okay? I'm nothing like that. But to me, when I look at that, it sounds like a clear-cut case of negligent homicide, manslaughter, right? Because you have a man, right, who is running a project. A week before a fatal shooting was notified. I would imagine he was notified. I'm sure someone's going to argue, well, he could have possibly not, I'll address that in a second. Hold on. No, let me address that now. Okay, all right. The idea that he would not know, okay? He's the producer of the fucking film, and the crew just walked off because they were upset about the lack of safety conditions. I mean, I guess you could argue to me that Alec Baldwin has like a brain disorder. And it's just has no fucking clue what's going on around him. All right? But if that's the actual case there, I guess you're right. He's literally too retarded to face any sort of criminal charges, right? But no, okay? You have a man who's just fucking negligent, right? It's his project. He's being negligent with it. They were notified that less than a week ago, someone was handed a gun, told it had blanks in it, and it didn't, and they fired 2 live rounds. And then he goes on and... Okay, all right, I have to move on, okay? I have to move on to talk about some other things in regards to this whole thing. But to be very fucking clear, right? As the man who is handed a firearm, and then he points it at another human being and shoots it, he would be responsible. You know, there's a famous case from 1993 on the film of The Crow, where the actor was killed, right? And people, like, I saw a lot of people try to equate this shooting with that shooting, right? But in the case of, I believe the actor's name was Brandon Lee. I could be wrong there. In his case, they didn't use live rounds ever, right? They had used these, they call them dummy rounds, right? They're supposed to, like, to my understanding, they're supposed to, like, pop off smoke or something. And apparently a piece of the dummy round got lodged into the cartridge, so when it got loaded with blanks and was fired, it basically shot out this small fragment, and that's what killed the actor, right? In this situation, though, you're talking about them confusing real bullets with blanks. This is nuts. Like, this is a case of clear-cut fucking negligence, right? Like, you already have a previous example on that exact same set with all of these exact same people less than a week ago, and you have idiots literally arguing, Alec Baldwin, it's an accident. Look, it is an accident, but it was completely avoidable accident that resulted in someone's death, right? Like, I'm one of the biggest Second Amendment people around. I don't own, like, crazy weapons or anything like that, right? I have mine, right? But, like, I advocate for it. Like, you should own a firearm, right? But owning it means you need to be fucking responsible with it, right? And if you're ever going to take possession of a actual gun, check the fucking... God, see, the problem is this is so basic, right? But because we're being stupid and not acknowledging that, look at what they're saying now. California politician wants to ban live guns on movie sets after accidental shooting by Alec Baldwin. Let me be very clear, right? Let me be very fucking clear. Because it says, gun used to fire blanks on a movie set can be deadly if a real bullet is somehow put into the gun. No shit! No shit! Fucking hell. But, you know, this idea of banning guns altogether on movie sets, as a big 2A guy, I support it. Ban them from your fucking security guards, too. But like, realistically, you know, and again, I say this as someone who really supports the Second Amendment. Hollywood doesn't like it at all. Hollywood, like most of these people, do not like the idea or support the idea of people being allowed to possess firearms, right? So if these people are then going to be giving a gun in any capacity, I would never fucking trust them to understand the most basic etiquette of firearm safety, right? Just to follow the most basic rules, like when you're given a live gun, to check it. Holy shit, how is that controversial for people? What idiot would actually try to argue that it is okay to give someone a firearm in any capacity when they have no understanding that they should not point it at someone? They don't even check to see if it's loaded or not. Like, it's just so dumb. And to be very clear, right? Because someone argued, well, how do you know that they, just in case someone does, how do you know if they, if he didn't check the gun? He could have checked the gun. Because a fucking blank and a bullet look fucking different. It's actually pretty interesting. Now, I have no clue why they're using real bullets in the first place. I really don't understand why they would be. Don't fucking know. Can't fucking figure it out. I don't care so much that a California politician now wants to do this massive gun ban. I'm sure that everyone in Hollywood is gonna support it. So let them do it, because these idiots like Alec Baldwin clearly don't know what they're fucking doing. Actually, I take that back. Alec Baldwin is 67, I think, 60 plus years old, and has been on film sets before where they have firearms, and he has proper training to use them. So this guy knows the rules and broke them anyways. And people are saying he's not at fault. Like, you have to be so intellectually dishonest to sit there and say he has no responsibility in his fucking actions as the shooter and as the producer for the fucking film. I can't. It actually angers me to see people try to make those types of arguments. Now, there's another article over here. I know I didn't read through this one. Of course, a California politician wants to ban guns. Not that big of a news story, if we're being honest. Hollywood weapons expert says Alec Baldwin broke #1 gun safety rule. Loaded or unloaded, a weapon never gets pointed at another human being. So, I was actually thinking about this, right? Because of what happened with the death of Brandon Lee and everything, it would make sense if, on film sets, they did put in that rule to never point a firearm at somebody, or at least a firearm capable of firing live rounds, even if you don't have them on the set, right? Like, it's just like when I go to the when I go to the range and everything, if there was ever somebody who just pointed a gun at another human being, right? You don't ever fucking do that. Even when you're just like looking at the gun on the counter, you don't like hold it up and point it at someone. That's just, it's so dumb. Like, it's incredibly fucking stupid. And these are grown adults. These are grown adults. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me that someone's saying like, Hollywood weapons expert, duh. Like, there are basic rules here, and Alec Baldwin knows these rules. Like, that's the other thing. He knows these fucking rules. Now, this is the final thing. And I guess it's just a bunch of really mean tweets by Alec Baldwin. And I will be very clear. I read through some of these, and I was going, oh God. And there is that vindictive part of my personality that sits there and says, play by your own rules. Play by your own rules, Mr. Alec Baldwin. But the other part of me that treats this as like a serious situation in which somebody, unfortunately lost their own life, that is, it's not, I kind of laugh at the fucking absurdity of it, right? But it's either you laugh or you fucking cry. A woman lost her life. There was no reason for her to lose her life. This was the actions of people that are being grossly negligent. And, to see people try to back up Alec Baldwin on this, don't get me wrong. I don't think sending Alec Baldwin to prison would fix anything. It doesn't bring the woman back to life. Maybe you'll stop Alec Baldwin from ever picking up a firearm again, but realistically, I don't know what, like, he is negligent, right? He should face some type of penalty here. I don't know what is or is not fair, but he broke the law. he is criminally negligent. To argue otherwise, to me, seems very dishonest. Now, that said, if you argue to me that it's just a mistake and you don't feel he should be put in prison, that's a completely different issue, and I don't necessarily disagree with you, right? I don't know what putting Alec Baldwin in prison would actually solve here, right? I don't. And I am of the opinion that sometimes we just throw people in prison because we're scared of them and we want to ostracize them from society. I don't think that necessarily doing that to Alec Baldwin fixes anything other than maybe his goddamn attitude. But realistically, that's no reason to put people in prison. So, again, I think he is criminally negligent. I think he needs to pay some type of penalty. Don't know what it is, have no clue, but 100% this fucking movie set needs to be completely shut down.